Okay. Okay, you be good and quiet. No, but edit out all your little tippy tappies that you do everywhere.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? It's going? Hello? Yeah, I think so.
Hello. Okay.
Yours is just really loud for some reason.
Mine's really loud.
Yeah. And mine's really quiet.
Is it a me thing? Like,
No, I don't know.
maybe if I turn my speaker down? Hello? Is that helping?
Didn't change anything.
Oh.
I don't know.
Did I mute myself? Is it still going? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Because on here, I think this is like all. Look, it brings it up on your computer when I touch the speaker or the volume thing. You know?
Where are you seeing it?
Or like, just when I touch this.
Oh, it just brings up that thing? Yeah. It's not changing this at all, though.
Where's yours at? I don't. This just this is like it's like never ending. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. I think this is controlling it.
Okay.
Or this would control this.
Would control that.
Yeah.
Okay. Pause for 1 second. Hello.
I don't know how you thought that sentence would make me feel any better today. All I did was make me clear.
Oh.
Like, that was such a girl. It's so cute. I can't wait for you guys to be married. Not even a year.
I'm sorry. I thought it would make you happy. Okay, I love you. iPod. No, it's okay. We haven't started yet. It's fine. I'm going to. I'm going to talk shit. Okay, I love you. Bye.
What did you send her?
Hi, Dad. Okay, we can start it. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I did.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello and welcome back
You
to
got-
our podcast with no name.
That should probably just be our name at this
I
point.
know, right? Thursdays at noon, podcast with no name. We're just gonna roll with it.
Isn't that a brand? No name?
I think it is.
Like a
Or no
clothing
brand.
brand? No brand?
I think it's no brand.
Maybe we should just steal it.
Yeah.
No.
This is not sponsored by No Brand in any way.
We have no
We
sponsor.
would love to try your products.
Send us what you want. We'll
Yeah.
find a PO box or something.
Okay, Mister, you can't wag your tail and hit the wall.
Sir, hey, Chris, Q, go lay down. Go lay down. Thank you.
He's just so happy, Mom. We can't be mad at him for wedding. I was like, that was gonna be loud. Don't laugh.
Yep, settle it down. Settle it
Okay, we're okay.
down. What was I just gonna say? Oh, you have Jenna and Shannon here.
Yeah, Jenna.
Shannon.
We're here. We're back.
Back for another one.
Last week we attempted to do this over FaceTime / I don't know what I was doing. So we'll see if
we have a number
if we
6.
have a number 6. We may just this might be our number 6, and we'll just say whoops. But I traveled a lot. It was like a week of traveling. But our Shannon is pregnant, and so we were trying to be reasonable and cautious about the pandemic that we're still in.
Lovely 2020.
I know. So we took a break last week and just basically did it over the phone, and it was kind of hard.
I had fun.
I mean, it was fun, but it was hard to. I'm not tech savvy at all, so I was so stressed trying to get it together, and then literally realized I didn't even plug in my microphone. So basically, I had my AirPods in, and my computer going, but I think it recorded it just through the speaker sound of the computer. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
I didn't even plug in my microphone. Idiot. It's a podcast. We need a I was like, AirPods, I can hear, I can see you, let's go. I couldn't believe it. We got done and I called Brittany and I was like, I'm an idiot. I didn't plug in my microphone. She was like, what?
The whole tech side of all this, though, that is like a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
And
I'm so proud
props
of
to
you.
everyone that knows what the hell they're doing. I guess they probably pay someone. To.
Oh, I know. You know, eventually when we're famous.
When we have sponsors.
When
so
we
if
have
you want to
sponsors.
sponsor us.
We'll get there.
We're sponsoring ourselves with our
We're
bank
sponsoring
account,
ourselves
so.
with our own bank accounts, and that's not true. Kyle's bank account.
Our pandemic bank accounts, which is rough.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I started 75 Hard. I'm like so excited to tell you about it because you're obviously my inspiration. 5 seconds. It took 5 seconds. But I'm just like so proud of you.
Oh.
That you're pregnant. Like fucking crushing it.
Oh, thank you.
And I've like just really been struggling with like looking at myself in the mirror and like seeing what I'm seeing, and that's just not how I've ever felt my entire life.
Yeah.
Like I've never been someone that's like, oh, I just like wish this was different. I wish this was better. I wish I could change this. Like I've been self-conscious about my lips my whole life.
Yeah.
That is it. Like my mom just like instilled in us that like, you know, we're beautiful and God made us the way we're supposed to be, and like, you know, you have one body and take care of it, and like that was just like it. And so I have always tried to live by that, and like in times that it did sort of like shift, or like I did feel insecure, or like people made me feel insecure, I just always sort of brushed it off. And like the last few months it's just been really hard. And so watching you like do 75 Hard pregnant, I was like, oh, I have no fucking excuse. Like, you're just so inspirational to so many people.
Oh.
And like, people just don't know how hard you work for them. And I love to see it. I love to see it, and I love to be a part of it. And so, I mean, realistically, the hardest thing for me was like, I'm such a casual, like, social drinker. And the pandemic, like, obviously, I've become way more of a, it's Monday, who cares, you know? And like, having the hot tub and having people come over for dinner, like, it just, let's open wine or let's have a drink. Like, it just has become so natural in like my every single day life. And then I was like, okay, Jenna, if that's realistically like the hardest thing for you, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And
Well, because, maybe we should reflect for the, like, people listening.
oh yeah, people don't know, sorry.
75
Explain
Hard
it.
is what I did. I was coming off of it when we started this podcast. I was, at least in the last couple of days when we started this.
Yeah, like basically your day 70, I think.
Yeah, I think I was on 70. And it comprises of 5, but I say like basically 6 things that you have to do every day for 75 days. And the biggest thing I always say is that it's like, you look at it and it's like a physical challenge because you see the 2 workouts there. But it's 100% a mental challenge.
Absolutely.
Like, because the guy that came up with it, the podcast that I listened to about it, he is like, there's no fucking excuses. You mess up one time, you forget one thing, you slip up, you're back to day 0. And so it's 2 exercises a day, each 45 minutes, and 1 has to be outside, rain, shine, no matter what.
Yeah.
Then it's reading 10 pages at least of some sort of self-help or business,
Non-fictional
self-growth
book.
Yep. Can't be an audiobook, can't be
Yeah, I have to read it.
like a biography
I have to
or
read it.
what are they called? Is it fiction when it's fake or nonfiction when it's fake?
It's nonfiction is like a true story.
Okay, so it has
about
to be
either like
nonfiction.
finding yourself, them finding themselves, the power in doing that.
Basically, it can't be Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Is what like I think of.
Yeah.
You have to drink a gallon of water a day, not an ounce less.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do an ounce more, but
Yeah.
you have to take a progress picture every single day, and then you have to follow a meal plan, and you have to beforehand like set your boundaries on your meal plan. So you can't change it halfway through or whatever. But he's like, I don't care what meal plan you choose. But like you said, and then no alcohol.
And no alcohol.
See, that's why I think it's 6.
I know.
And no alcohol. And I will have to say, I obviously had a very different experience because my husband did it with me, Kendrick did it with me. I even had a really different experience from him, even though we live almost identical because we live together.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that like no alcohol was not an option for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like already taken out, you're pregnant, you're like, okay, well, easy.
Like that was not a barrier for me mentally.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I watched him for sure, like,
struggle with it.
Yeah. Well, hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, I know. I was so proud.
Family, like, I think we had both of our birthdays come up.
I know. I think that was it. Like thinking about it, trying to plan it, like writing everything down, like for months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then like calculating all the things, there was just like, there's no way that I can do it, which is also why it's like inspiring that you guys did it through that type of stuff. So, like with what's coming up now, it's like Christmas is coming, New Year's is coming, but like the reality is that like we're not going to be able to do what we would usually be doing for New Year's. I mean, we spent New Year's at the casino the last couple years, and like, you know what I mean, just like out and about, at a concert, out dancing, and like that's not what's going to happen this year. And I think I needed that because I'm so social. Like it's just so hard for me to be like, I can't, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, when I really thought about it and wrote it out, I was like, that feels like what would be the biggest challenge to me. And like, what's funny is I haven't been working out consistently, like, but in my head, like, I'm not even thinking about the fact that the workouts are hard. Like, I'm so excited to wake up in the morning, like, do my indoor workout and then, like, go walk outside for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I've been loving that, and I've used that time to, like, connect with other people. Like, we're gonna walk later, and I've asked Haley to walk with me, like, twice now, and so I've ran to her house once and then walked with her, so that was, like, a way longer outdoor workout. But then, like, I drove to her house, and then we walked to Starbucks and walked back, and then I did, like, an extra 10 minutes outside with Tyler when I got home. So, like, it's given me an opportunity to, like, hey, I have to do this today. Like, do you want to do this with me? Even if it is just 10 minutes of, like, a hit, whatever, with Tyler, and then I go walk with Haley. Like, it's just felt nice to, and even Kyle, like, we walked the first day, or maybe it was the second day, I had to walk, and it was Sunday, because I think I started it, like, on Friday or Saturday or something. And I was like, I have to walk today, like, and he said he would, but Sunday's like his like total relaxed day. He likes to sit and like watch football and like take a nap and like, you know, just kind of just chill, because we are so constantly going, even in the pandemic. But yeah, so he got up at like 3:30, you know, after his like nap, and we walked all the way to Fred Meyer and like bought Scotch tape because I needed to wrap some presents. But I was like, we can walk instead of drive, you know. It's like it took the time. It was like 51 minutes, I think, total. It was like quick in and out and like back to the house, and so yeah, it's just been, this week has been so fun for me. Like, it's given me something to look forward to. I'm reading Alicia Keys' book More Myself, and like, she's just so inspirational, and like her quotes are like amazing, and like then I'm listening to her album as I'm like hearing about like what changed her and why it changed her and how she manifests things, and like it just is so cool. And I think it was a good like place to start, because I like love her so much that it was like, her mindset is all about energy and vibes, and like, you know, living within like in your moment, and like seizing the opportunity within that, and like not always doing things because you think it's gonna like impress somebody else, or you know, like you're doing it simply because your energy is telling you that that's like the best thing to do right then. And like, I feel like I live that way, but like it just is like a reminder every time I like read I've like paged all the like flipped the page to save all the pages. I can like go back and like highlight those quotes that just are like speaking to me. And I'm not really doing progress photos. I'm doing like progress videos, and they're all private on TikTok. So like, I didn't want to put it on my Instagram. I wanted like a different platform to like, just because I do have like I have quite a few people that follow me on Instagram, and like I didn't want to do it so that they would see me doing it.
Mhm.
I didn't want to have to check in with those people. Like, I want to check in, like, with myself.
Mhm.
And so that's also been, like, a different sort of mindset. I'm, like, still talking, like, you can hear me and they can see me and, like, those are the people I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But it'll be, like, so much later when, like, those things,
Everything comes out.
when it all comes out, and I'll be like, whoa, like, Jenna did that, and she didn't even, like, say anything about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think that's where, like, I also need to, like, check myself, is my Instagram. Like, I'm not 21, I'm not 22, I'm not 23. I'm not really there, like, in my life, I feel like, anymore, to where, like, I feel like I need the approval.
Yeah.
I guess.
Mhm.
Or I love to hear myself talk. I do. I love talking, like, to my Instagram and having people respond. Like, that connection I love. But, like, especially after watching, like, The Social Dilemma and, like, just kind of realizing, like, what social media has done to us,
Mhm.
I was like, I needed to, like, check myself and just be like, why do you do it?
Yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you really getting out of it? And so that's also been interesting to think about because I did switch the platform and, like, I have no followers and they're private.
Mhm.
Like, you can't even see the videos. No one can see them right now.
But isn't that such a
It's
good
so-
feeling,
yeah,
though?
it is.
Or even just the feeling of the fact that you started 75 Hard
Mm-hmm.
purely for yourself.
Yeah.
Because, like, so when I started, you know, I asked you, I
Mhm.
asked Brittany, I
Mhm.
clearly asked Kendrick, I asked, like, if my sister, I asked
Mhm.
quite a few people if they would want to do it with me.
Yeah.
But the only person I had, like, the real conversation with was Kendrick. Of,
Mhm.
like,
This is what I want to do.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And the reason I had, like, the hard conversation with him, and maybe I've already said this, but I was like, I either need to know if you're in or you're out, because
Mm-hmm.
if you're out, there's going to be more things that come up just around the house, you know, like, he's going to bring home
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell or, like, whatever would it be in my, like, plan.
Yeah.
Or he's going to want to have a lazy Sunday where, like, I know I have to get outside
Mm-hmm.
and do something, and he's gonna be like, no, stay. And so he was like, no, I'm in. But I had that same conversation with my sister, you know, and everyone, and the reason I didn't, I feel like, push anyone but myself to really do it
Mm-hmm.
was because I was doing it for my mental health,
Yeah.
and asking or forcing you or Brittany or whoever
Mm-hmm.
to do it, like, you wouldn't have got
Yeah.
what you needed to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Even if you did all 75 days,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't walk into it because you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
like any other challenge.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like those challenges, all challenges across the board, the reason they're not successful or they don't show longevity with people,
They're
whether
not doing it
it's-
because they want to do it.
they're doing it because of social
Because
media
everyone
influencer
else
told them
are
to.
doing it. Mm-hmm.
Or they saw, like, someone do this 30-day ab challenge and the before and after picture is awesome.
Incredible, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great, but, like, that person wanted to do it. That's
Yeah.
why it was successful for them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just because they held the plank for
Yeah.
every minute. It was like something within them chemically.
Yeah,
Was
and I
looking
think
for change.
that's also why, like, my 80-day 6 fix, which
Yeah.
is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Minus the alcohol and, like, you make your bed every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you take 10 minutes to yourself, which is why I tried to include that just in, like, other goals
Mm-hmm.
for my day. Like, those aren't things I, like, have to do, but I like to when I was doing them.
Yeah.
So that's why I included those on my, like, other goals thing. But, like, I think that's why the 80-day 6 fix didn't work for me. I was like, I wanted it so badly to work. I brought it to social media. I tried, like, I did have people that I was, like, texting every day to, like, just encourage them to have, like, a better day. But, like, then I'm sitting at home frustrated and mad and, like, irritated that I'm not doing what I want to be doing. And, like, I'm not in the place I want to be. Like, I'm 30 pounds heavier than, like, I was when I, you know, last November.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never compared myself in that, like, sense. And so to, like, have the photos from Jasmine's birthday pop up and, like, see the post that I made and, like, how proud I was of that, and then to just be like, what the fuck happened? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm just excited.
I'm proud of
like-
you. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Because I think it's hard. You're coming from a completely different space than I think a lot of people are, in the sense of, I don't think people, I would hope that people could really truly believe us when we say that, like, you, like, exude confidence in everything that you do. And that's not a common trait in a lot of people. You know, they don't have, I feel like society or parents or bad relationships have made it so that people don't have belief or confidence in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are always trying to chase an end goal to gain that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you're coming from a completely different perspective, which is amazing. And the fact that you believe in yourself and you know you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding that avenue that gets you to that end goal without having to change anything about yourself
Mm-hmm.
in the process.
Yeah. No, when I told Kyle about it, I have mentioned it obviously 100 times, telling him that you were doing it. No, he knew Kendrick was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about it with Jasmine. The conversation with Lily, 75 Hard has come up so much. Since before you did it, you know, it has for sure been a thing that was oh, this is a mental health challenge people are jumping on, and cool, that sounds really fun. I would love to do that, but no way. I can't drink. We're stuck at home. What am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so when I told Kyle, it might have felt sort of blindsided to him because I had been writing it in my journal for days, and I had been researching it because I'm just sitting at home doing that, and he's at work all day. So it's those weren't really things I was telling him when he was coming home.
Mm-hmm.
So the day I decided to do it, when I texted you guys, I decided to have that conversation with Kyle in person when he got home, and I was so just so you know, I was sitting on the stairs. It was so weird. I don't sit on the stairs. And he's standing there looking at me after work, and I was so I decided to start 75 Hard today, and he was oh, okay. And I was just and I'm eating vegetarian, and he was oh, okay, do I have to eat vegetarian? And I was just I'll make you whatever. I don't expect you to do it with me. I don't actually need you to do it with me.
Yeah.
I do need you to support the fact that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I was I'm also not drinking. And he was what? And I was and I really need your support in that.
Yeah.
So if you want to, that's totally fine. But I either need you to jokingly ask me when you ask me and know that my answer is no, or just don't ask me, you know. And he's okay, you know, whatever. And then
because Kyle's the type to randomly be Jenna, let's take a shot.
literally,
It's 10 in the morning on a Tuesday.
I know, because we're so fun. And I'm always down, yeah, babe, let's play flip cup and get it. I love those moments. And so I think, especially knowing he's going to have some time off with Christmas coming, and he's going to be home, and then it's going to be Christmas, and then it's going to be New Year's. And we go so hard all the time on those, it's the holidays. Everybody does, you know? And it was just, and then I totally cried, of course, because I'm just so emotional, and I was I'm sorry if this feels out of nowhere, I'm sorry if it's overwhelming to you, but I have to do it because I'm really unhappy with myself. And he was why? You know, why are you, okay, babe, you're fine, you know, so sweet. And then the next day, I feel you probably saw it, did you watch the video of I think his name's Henry, he was on a weird reality show, I cannot remember what it's called, where there's rules where they can't touch each other, they can't kiss. What is that show? It was on during the pandemic. I want to say,
I have no
I'm
idea.
failing. But he sent me a TikTok, and it was really, really sweet. And basically it's this guy on a podcast, and he's talking about how it's this girl, and she's every time I'm sad or insecure, my boyfriend sends me this podcast, and it, you know, moves from the sweet song to him talking, and he's I went to school with his British accent or whatever, wherever he's from, and he's I went to school with this kid who was so skinny, so skinny, and he had the hardest girl in school, and he just accelerated confidence all the time, and just, you know, that confidence, you get one body in your whole life, you know. And he went on and on and on about how you don't have to change anything, you're perfect and you're beautiful. And I was just Kyle doesn't necessarily say those things in the moment, but he always finds a way to do it, whether it's in a text message that just says hey, I'm sorry you're feeling that way, you're beautiful and I love you, you know, or he sends me a stupid TikTok that I literally just cried watching it, and then I texted him, I said thank you, I sent it to him again, and I said thank you for saying that to me, because Kyle's always let me be myself.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, and I'm like so grateful for that. But sometimes it is hard for me to like, when I don't feel like myself, to tell him I don't feel like myself
Yeah.
because I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's not a personality trait that he has to often like work with.
Yeah.
Because there are spouses that do have to reassure their
Yeah.
their partner all the time, like, you are beautiful, you are great,
Yeah.
and that's not something that he has to do
No. Like,
very often with you.
I'm so thankful for that because I know that even with my sisters, Jalissa especially has said sometimes to me, like, I just need you to tell me I can do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay, like, thank you for telling me you need me to do that
Yeah.
because I wouldn't know. I'll tell you all the time, like, that you are, but, like, I also need to know that you need that from me.
Yeah.
And so it is, Kyle's just great.
Kyle is
I love him
great.
so much.
I'm so excited for you. I'm excited because no matter, on day 76, no matter what you feel at the end of it, I think even the smallest changes you'll be amazed by. Actually, probably even in these 6 days, like you said, like,
No, I know.
walking for 45 minutes, you get an opportunity to text people you haven't texted, call people you haven't called, listen to podcasts that maybe you would never listen to because they're not entertaining in the car.
Yeah.
There's so many things about it that I just think pushes you to, I don't know, it made me feel like I grew up a little bit and was just a little bit more realistic with myself, of like, I always say this, I don't want to be 70, 80 years old on my deathbed being that person that's like, I feel like I never really knew who I was or found myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I have a lot of conversations with like women mid-age or like older age that are like, I never found who I am, or I lost myself when I got married, or I just became a mom, or I never got out of my work life, I just worked all the time and I never had a life. And
I mean,
it's so sad.
Bern taught me that too.
Yeah.
Like, just random conversations I'd have at the front desk with people. I mean, I said that all the time, like,
The crying podcast.
I know, sorry. But, like, if anything, Bern also made me grow up. It was like, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. But, like, I walked in last night to go to the bathroom, so I drove from Portland down here, and Alan, like, it was so sweet, and it just made me feel so good when he actually, like, saw me. He, like, dropped the vacuum, like, ran off the floor, came and gave me the biggest hug, and I was like, that felt so normal.
Yeah.
And I, like, needed him to do it, and I didn't realize I needed him to do it, but I was so thankful that he, like, came and hugged me and just was like, hi, I've missed you, like, how are you? I got a vacuum. Are you gonna stay? And I was like, I just really have to pee. Like, you know, and then it was just sweet, and there was hardly any conversation even after that, but it was just like, I needed it to be normal when I walked in, and he was so normal, and it was so great. Alan's the owner of
Alan's the owner of the gym.
the franchise that Shannon still works for, and I did work for.
You guys haven't seen each other since you stopped work, or probably before you stopped working.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in months, and it was so sweet.
Is that your first time going back into Bern too?
Mm-hmm. Like, walking in, and apart from, like, since I moved, yeah. I want to say maybe I walked in once for
Jade's birthday.
Jade's birthday. But, yeah, and they were cleaning, and, like, that's just what I used to do. I worked the front desk, I, like, put the weights away, and they were vacuuming, Brittany's, like, spraying it down, and it was just, like, felt so, normal and natural to be there, and it just was, like, okay, like, this is why I was so confident. This is what, like, pushed me for 2 years. This is, like, what made me happy. These are the stories that, like, made me feel like I was doing something, even at a gym, you know? And so, yeah, it was great. Anyways, it was awesome. I'm excited. 75 hard, going strong. I've only got, like, 69 days left.
It's gonna chip away, though.
Yeah. I mean, this week went by really fast.
Yeah, it does. And in the moment, I just think it's fun. I'm just so proud of you. I mean, I know that you're not doing it for anyone else, but I love being able to text you about it and you being able to say, like, I got everything done, like, before noon today or something.
I know, and that's really how I feel. I'm such a morning, like, workout person.
Yeah.
I've always been that way when I did. I think in school it, like, instilled in me. Softball, we had practice, like,
Yeah.
so early in the morning,
Yeah.
batting practice or whatever it was. And I love getting up in the morning. And so that has also been fun for me because I get up with Kyle and, like, I'm just gonna do it. If I do the workout, then I don't have to just walk outside and read and drink my water.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I eat pretty much vegetarian anyway. Like, I don't eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, that's going to be the easiest thing for me. I do miss my chicken apple sausages from Trader Joe's. I do miss those.
You need to find a, like, sub.
Yeah,
or
but I
do-
found these, like, chili and cheese tamales from Trader Joe's that I'm excited to try. And just, like, I've looked up new recipes, and Lily has sent me, you know, different things. And I'm like, thankful that there's literally, like, 3 people that know about it, 4 with Kyle. And it's even, like, it feels weird to say it to other people because I don't actually care if they know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just say, like, I'm doing it, you know?
Yeah.
But I knew that, like, my support system needed to be, like, the people that changed my physical fitness life from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, I needed those people to know, and, like, that was it because I needed to be able to check in somewhere.
Yeah.
But, like, I wanted it to be a real connection check-in and not, hey, look. Hey,
Yep.
look. Hey, look. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my 75 hours going great.
I'm so proud of you.
7 days in, I'm so strong. My watch, like I finished my workout this morning with Bethany, and my watch was like 7 days in a row, and I was like, oh, what? Yes, it has been 7 days in a row.
I love when it gives you, like, the little plaques.
I know, little, like, awards.
Awards, like, this was your hardest whatever, like,
Yeah.
walk you've ever done, or furthest walk you've ever done, or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think I actually got one of those the other day because the walk to Fred Meyer was kind of long. 82nd is long, and I don't realize the cut to, like, from my dad's house to that little road that we take, it's actually so much shorter than, like, going
all the way around.
all the way around the big block.
That's what Kendrick and I started doing at one point, was we walked to Safeway,
Okay.
grocery shopped, and, like, walked back,
Uh-huh.
because each way was 45 minutes.
Okay, so then it's, like, long.
Yeah. So then it counted for, like,
2.
like, our 2, like, that was typically on our day, like, our weekends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we would, if we were feeling spicy, we would do something like, you know,
Yeah.
more standard workout style, like with weights or with
Yeah.
HIIT or whatever. But for the most part, it was like, I think several times I just, like, went golfing with him.
Oh, fun.
And
walked.
golfing is like 4 hours of walking.
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect.
Great.
That counts for 2.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Well, and the second day of it was snowboarding day.
Yep.
And we were out there for like 2 hours. And I was struggling, Shannon. Like, my calves were, and it was only day 2, but I jumped so hard in day 1.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm gonna go snowboarding.
Yeah.
And, like, my calves, I felt like they had knots the size of freaking softballs.
I
And
feel like the
then
hardest day is the first day of
it's the
snowboarding.
first day.
Those
It's always the
boots
first
and
day.
being
The boots.
Stuck in there.
My feet have been weird this year, like, and I haven't snowboarded since we went, which was like 2 years ago when you guys first got here.
Oh,
And yeah, like, because we didn't go last year, and so it was like literally your first year that you were here. We were like, let's go, and like,
Whoa.
so we were looking at the thing, and I was like, seriously, like, it's been a 2-year season since we've gone, and like, my legs, my calves were hurting so
Dying.
bad. I was dying. It took me, so we went from Timberline through the hard part that's like up and down and flat.
Which is such a hard way to start your
Such
day.
a hard way to start. And then from there, we go all the way down to Flood, go up, and then go back down to Flood. And I told Kyle, I was like, babe, like, I was in tears, like, all the way down the mountain. I was like, I am so uncomfortable and in so much pain. I cannot do it anymore. I've been out here for 2 hours. Like, I gotta be done. I'm gonna go sit in the car. And I've never done that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to snowboard. We get to go. I'd been complaining that I hadn't been up yet. And, like, I was so bummed. And so then I had to go home and I had to do another workout.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was out there, but I was like, I didn't feel like it counted because I was so frustrated didn't count for my 2.
Yeah.
If I would have been out there all day long, sure.
Yeah.
But I was out there for 2 hours and I was struggling so hard that I was like, nope, that's not it. I have to go home and like stretch it out. And like, so I did like a full like almost hour of just like these deep stretches and rolled my calves and like just moved my body as slowly as I could. But like, I was like, you have to do it. You just
But isn't
started.
that so cool that
Yeah.
after such a frustrating day, you still came home and you were like, no, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna take care of my body. Like, it's just so cool.
I know.
So
It's
cool.
been great. So 7 days in, we'll see how it goes.
You know what's funny is the last time that I went snowboarding was actually in Sun Valley, where Kendrick's grandparents live, which I was talking about last week. The second or third day, so I snowboard. I know how to ski,
Okay.
but I don't own skis,
Okay.
and so I snowboard. Like, I think since I was 12 or 13, I've been 99% snowboarding, because when at that age, my sister got a pair of skis and I got a snowboard, and my parents bought them because we were supposed to share,
Oh,
you know, and like
but no.
go back and forth. But she went snowboarding like twice
Okay.
and fell on her butt really hard.
Yeah.
And so now she's like, I will never do it ever again.
Really?
So she was like, I'm keeping the skis. So I hadn't skied in forever, but in Idaho at his grandparents' house, everyone skis.
Oh, okay.
Like Kendrick and his brother have snowboards and know how to snowboard also and love it, but like they ski when they're with their grandparents because that's what everyone does.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have confidence. They're all very good skiers. Like his grandma was a ski instructor
Okay. On
How's
the
it
mountain
go?
all the time.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So good. They're like in their, I don't know how old they are, but they're like in their 70s and they fly down the mountain.
Oh my gosh.
Every
wow.
day.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And so I was like, I can ski, but I'm not that type of skier to where I could keep up with you guys. I could keep up snowboarding.
Yeah.
But anyways, so like the second day we're there last winter, it was like a record-breaking snowfall.
Oh, wow.
And so of course at like
that sounds great.
3 in the morning, his grandpa walks in and is like, guys, we're gonna go to the mountain. Be ready at 6 a.m. It's gonna be amazing, because you know, like
Aw.
powder is a
Powder's the
skier's
best.
dream.
It is. It's the best.
Like loves it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're up, we're ready to go. We're the first ones, like not the first ones there at the mountain. Everyone was prepared for it, but both Kendrick and I, or Kendrick decided to snowboard with me that day, and it was literally like past my knees, like mid-thigh powder.
Oh my gosh.
And on a snowboard, that's so hard.
Yeah.
You have to
You need
either
like
be
some fresh powder you can kind of get through, so when you fall it doesn't hurt that bad. But like thick powder, that's tough if you're not.
you get
You
stuck.
get stuck.
Cause and like there was parts where like obviously being the first couple people on the mountain, there was so many areas that like no paths had been made. You're cutting it all yourself, and it doesn't matter. Like I was upright the whole time, but having to turn and like make my own
Yeah.
path
Yeah.
through snow that is literally the length of my legs. That day was the most exhausting day ever. That luckily, like his grandparents, they're bougie, so they have like a massage chair and they have like
I love it.
a massage ball that vibrates when you like roll on it.
Yeah.
So for like 4 hours that night, Kendrick and I were both just like massaging ourselves, because I was like, because we were supposed to be there for like another week. I
Yeah.
was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to snowboard for another week
Every single day.
after that.
Yeah.
And the next day was very rough, but it was just so funny because they all had the best day in the world, because it was like so fun for
fresh.
them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god,
I
you
know.
guys.
And that's, I've also felt bad. I was like the first snow of the season for Lily, the first snow of the season for Kyle, and like Kyle worked all week, so even to like convince him to like get up early Saturday morning
Yeah.
and go was like it's such a chore to get up to the mountain and like be prepared and have all your things on, and like, you know, we were up there so early so we get a spot because they have capacity limits right
Yeah.
now, and like we got to watch the sunrise, which was
beautiful.
beautiful up there.
Yeah, your videos were awesome.
I know, but like other than that, it was just like I felt so bad. I was like, and I kept apologizing, and Kyle's like, Jenna, we came up here to like get on the mountain. We got on the mountain.
Yeah.
Like we're fine, you know. And he went back out with Lily and with my uncle Paul, and they had a great time. And I thought Kyle would. He thought he would be done because he fell very hard.
Oof.
Like he was going fast, and then just like ate shit. And when I got up to him, he like had his helmet off and was sitting there, and
Needed a minute.
I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, yeah, I fell hard. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you, like, your helmet's off. Like, are you okay? And he's like, well, I actually, like, felt like, I was like, oh shit, I gotta feel if my legs are moving. Because I fell hard. And I was kind of nervous for a second. And I was like, oh my god, okay, let's take a
Those
minute.
ones are the worst.
They're the worst.
I feel like when you just sit and be like,
Ugh.
should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Like reflect. Is
Right.
this a safe
This is
sport?
a safe sport.
Am I gonna get a
I
concussion?
know. But then it was like, I always think too, like, it's such a busy season for my Uncle Paul, so I always feel bad, like, asking and, you know, trying to get up there as much as possible. And now there's limits and things are different. And we can't hang out in the office and, you know, like, there's just, you have to wait in line to go to the bathroom. Like, you can't just, like, walk through the lodge. And that's, like, just the very early stages of being up there.
Yeah.
Once everyone's on the mountain, like, there's basically no line to walk into the lodge. But, like, when you're first up there, people are still in line to get tickets.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just first come, first serve right now. And so the whole vibe was just different. We tailgated. We were tailgating. Like, that's what we were doing.
In the
And-
parking lot?
In the parking lot. And I've never done that before. And apparently people do that sometimes. But, like, they do that when there's not a spot in the lodge, you know?
Yeah.
This time it was like, no one's allowed to just, like, hang out in there. And so I was just chilling in my car, listening to music, watching people barbecue and, like, listen to music. And I was like, well, this is more fun than I anticipated it being. And I
Yeah.
just sat there and, like, read my book. And, you know, I had something to do because of my challenge. And, like,
Yeah.
I was happy to do it. And they had a great time. So I can't wait to get up there again.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so this was longer than expected. But do you want to talk about our Enneagram and love language?
Yeah, so going
Tests.
back to like episode 2.
I know we were talking about
We were
this.
talking about love languages, or Jenna brought up how she had her friends all do this love language test to learn a little bit more about each other and how to like respond with each other. And so after having that
good at
podcast,
remembering.
I
I
think
was like, why did we do this again? But
And
yes, that was originally.
I decided to go take it. I had Kendrick take it as well.
Cute.
And we thought that'd be fun to kind of circle back and talk a little bit about what we got as our results. But then also we decided to take an Enneagram test.
We
Which
took
is-
a few. There are so many out there, which I also learned in trying to find one to take, a free one to take, because
You need to pay $20 for it.
yeah, there's some you can pay for and I think get more accurate answers,
Yeah.
whatever that means. But I took 2 and I got pretty similar answers, so that's kind of what I'm gonna go off of. I took 3 and I got 2 of them were pretty similar. The other one I couldn't find my results, so I don't know where those are.
So the love language one that we did basically breaks it down into like percentages based off of these 5 different categories, which is receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. And kind of, I guess, rates you on what you
What you need.
would like the most or
Yeah.
respond the
How-
best from or whatever. So my top 3, I'll just say those. Number 1 was words of affirmation. Number 2 was quality time, and number 3 was physical touch, which is really, really interesting.
I was
to me.
gonna say, did any of them surprise you?
I wouldn't say quality time and physical touch doesn't surprise me. I just wouldn't assume that words of affirmation would be before either one of those.
Okay.
It being number 1
Yeah.
surprises me. But like that and quality time are almost basically tied.
Oh, okay.
But I would for sure think I don't know this. I mean, this told me what I am, but
what you choose.
I don't think I would normally need anyone to, or like if I'm thinking about like my relationship with Kendrick,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need him to necessarily like. Well, I guess I don't need him to, but I guess if someone does send you a text and be like
Thanks for.
thinking of you or
Yeah.
love you or whatever, that is really, really great. I guess I just don't feel like I
Maybe
need
you
it
don't
as much
think-
as
yeah.
like I would need quality time. Like
Yeah.
to me,
But maybe because you don't get to have quality time with everyone you want all the time, that in your head, like, it does mean more to you when they're just like, I love you. You're like, oh, love you too. You know?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe that's what it came from. Because I've taken the test a few times and I basically come up with the same thing every time. So I'm
Really?
Like,
I got a 0 on receiving gifts though.
oh. You like to just give them?
I guess I don't like receiving gifts.
Like presents.
which is really
I was
funny.
gonna say we should scratch that. She loves presents.
I was gonna say I feel like I do like receiving gifts.
Yeah, maybe it's just
It's just-
not priority.
But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's just that makes sense. It's not something that would make me feel like I'm more loved
Yeah, exactly.
than
I-
other things.
I think that way too. So my top 3 are physical touch is my first one, which does not surprise me at all. I am such a like touchy-feely person, probably more than people want me to be. My second one was quality time, which makes so much sense. I love to be with everybody I love all the time. And acts of service. So I think I think words of affirmation and gifts are like I got a tie on those. They were the same. They mean the same to me, I guess. I did sort of think that acts of service was interesting because I love when people do stuff for me because I always
Do stuff for
do
others.
stuff for others, but I don't like ever expect anybody to do things for me.
It's probably the same what you just said to me about
Yeah.
words.
So but when people do, I'm always like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like my birthday party. I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't had a birthday party like that thrown for me that I haven't planned or tried to figure
Yeah.
out or, done all the things for since I was like 15 and I had my surprise birthday party then.
Yeah.
And that was so fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I appreciate acts of service. And like my gift for my birthday from Brittany, my Cricut, I am like, that was just the sweetest thing like anyone could have done.
Yeah.
I wanted one for so long. I've talked about it 100 times. Like I've seen all the TikToks. I've used her friends so many times, and like I needed something like that also in my life to just like have a creative outlet and like be able to do what I want.
Yeah.
And then Kyle has been like so supportive of that too. We always go down the Cricut aisle and he's like excited to see what's this do? What's that? Like we have 2 mats. I can make big signs and small signs and like. So
I also love gifts when someone
is
when
thoughtful
a gift,
about it.
Yeah, when a gift means that someone was like really listening.
Yeah, really listening to like what you wanted or what you think you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like she could have easily still just got you like a candle or something, and it would have been like, that's great, that's amazing, but like she chose that because of the conversations you've had.
Absolutely. And it was like, I mean, it's not a cheap gift, so like also I just was like, that was so much, and she was just like, don't tell me what to do. I'm like, okay. I get it, because I say that to people all the time. I mean, I feel like I go above and beyond, and I get told that a lot, like, you don't have to, and I'm just like, but I want to, and you can't like make me not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What's funny is your top 3 are, I would say, Kendrick's exact order also. When I had
so similar. It's so funny.
I think actually the only thing I can't remember, I want to say like percentage wise, his like acts of service was a little bit higher.
Oh, okay.
Which was really interesting to me, like seeing that or like having him send me his response. For him, physical touch and quality time again make 100% sense. Like he's just like you are, like loves spending time with people, and also is just like his way of showing love is like through hugs and that stuff.
Yeah.
But acts of service, I remember messaging him being like, that's interesting, and he was like, well, if you think about it, like when you fold my laundry and put it away, like he's like, that just makes my day so much better and so much easier because it's one thing that I don't have to do, or like those kind of things. I was like, whoa, yeah.
So the podcast that I listen to, Girls Night Out, they're just so fun in general. I talk about them all the time. But they didn't necessarily do something like this. They did non-sexual turn-ons and had, their listeners like write them in. And I was listening to them on my drive yesterday, and it was just so interesting because like I would hear them say stuff and be like, I wonder if like me doing that for Kyle does anything for him, or like how it makes him feel, or when I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I always think like I get up with him, I make him breakfast, I make him lunch, and when he doesn't, when I don't do that, I know he like doesn't eat, so that stresses me out. But like I also, even yesterday before I left, I was like, oh my god, like he has to have dinner by himself, he has to get up early and go to work and make breakfast and lunch, and like to me that was like many things for him to do in a day for himself. And I just am so used to doing it that like in my head I was like I have to like go to the store and I have to get I have to do this. So I did. I went and got him like a sandwich that he didn't have to make. I got lunch meat so I could make a sandwich tomorrow. And then I got sushi for him so he had something to eat for dinner. And like I texted him when I left and just was like, all this stuff's in the fridge, like if you need anything. And then I started that podcast
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, aw, well maybe that's sweet of me. Because in my head it was just like a thing I had to do.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even thinking like, oh, this is gonna be more convenient or like I'm doing it to be nice.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just what I do, and
Yeah.
he's not gonna have food. Oh my god! And like it was just funny because there were so many folding laundry, filling up your gas
Yep.
in your car, just little things that like you don't necessarily want to do, taking out the trash, or like just random things that it's like it's not you're not necessarily like, hey, let's get in the bedroom, but you're like, God, I love you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one time it was a while ago now. It was like a year ago. Kendrick randomly texted me. It was like a morning where he left for work sooner than I did, and he texted me like 4 minutes after he left the house and was like, I forgot to lock the front door. I know you're like in bed, but can you go lock it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what does that matter? And he was like, I just have this thing. I can't like leave you asleep with the house unlocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, then all of a sudden I'm just like, whoa, I've never noticed that the house is like always locked after he leaves.
Yeah.
Which is like the silliest thing, but also like for
And you're
him.
like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
For thinking of me.
Yeah.
Making sure I'm safe.
Exactly.
Get in here.
And anytime he's out of town, like before he goes to bed, like he's in the hotel or something, and he's like, hey, have you locked the door? Because like I will forget. I'm so bad about it. And I'm like, oh no, I'll go do that. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm by myself, and he's like, that freaks me out.
Oh.
Or even I think it was, I don't know why we were at the casino, but I left to go back to the hotel room to go back to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
For I don't know why
I think
we
it
were
was
there.
just one of the times we went.
Just a weekend.
Yeah.
I like went back to
We're
the
crazy, you guys. The pandemic
Rage.
has slowed us down a little bit, but we're crazy.
I decided to go back to the hotel room like before everyone else to go to bed.
Yeah. I
And
remember that.
Kendrick said that he was like at, I'm assuming like a blackjack table or something, and I had said goodbye to him, and I was like walking out the front door, and then he like looked over, and 3 guys were walking out the front door at the same time, like behind me, and like he was like, my rational brain was 100% like, those people are also just leaving the casino.
Yeah.
But then he was like, my irrational brain was like, she's walking across this whole parking lot by herself, going to her room, like by
Yeah.
herself. And
What a sweetheart.
so then he was like, I played one more hand and I had to go home and like go back to the room to make sure that you were like by yourself in the hotel room, and then he
Yeah.
was like, I walked in, I saw you were like in bed, and then I went back.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, that's so funny, because yeah, those 100% those guys were probably just innocently like going to their Uber,
Yeah. Absolutely.
But he was like, it's 2 a.m, she's by herself,
Yeah. Your hair is so long. I just am like
I know.
realizing.
I need to get a haircut.
No way, let it.
These prenatals,
Crazy.
crazy.
Gosh, I'm like, will it fix my hair? Because.
Yeah, you should take them. Or actually, I have some pills for you.
Okay.
I can't
Some-
take them right
I have
now, so
some bills for you.
they're just going to waste in my thing.
Okay, perfect. Just handing out drugs. Just kidding.
So we also took an Enneagram test.
Yeah, which is, I don't really understand it yet. I feel like it'll be a topic we like definitely come back to.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do some more
Research on it, but
I'm getting the vibe that it's just a personality test.
yeah, it is. It's just a personality test. And like the Enneagram it goes so deep into like who you really are, I guess.
There's
is
like
the
books and stuff.
There's
on
books
it.
on it. Yeah, I've heard other podcasts talk about it. It's all over Instagram all the time. I've seen it on TikTok. But basically, I'm not surprised also
Really?
at my results, yeah. But I think like what I think I get from this is that my mom, when we were younger, was very good at like telling us what we were good at, or like like I'll just use these as an example. So I have a number. It says your top 3 types are 2, 8, and 7, and I got 7 on both of the things. And so I was like, okay, well maybe I'm just gonna 7 for sure. It's the enthusiast, which like the enthusiast is someone who is basically just like really excited about life.
Yeah.
wants to like make the most of every moment, and like I thought that was really cool because I do feel like I live that way. But the ones that I wouldn't necessarily say are like my biggest thing, my mom has always said to me. So I don't think that I'm necessarily, my phone's locked, I'm trying to get into my pictures again because they're gone. But my other ones were the challenger and the helper. And like my mom, to me, always, I'm the oldest of my two sisters, and she'd always be like, you were just the best helper, always. You've always been the best helper. Like, and I mean, when she calls me, she just later on will be like, thank you for helping me just, you know, talk through it or whatever. And the challenger is like, I need to understand this one a little bit more, but the challenger is like someone who is not afraid to like step in if someone can't say what they want to say, or you know what I mean, like. And I think being the oldest, I definitely do that.
Like you'll stand up for what's right. You'll make sure people are heard.
And it's like whether you want to hear it or not, I have for sure, especially with my parents and like through their divorce, and when I was dealing with that and like trying to help my sisters deal with that, like I had no problem saying what they maybe didn't feel like they could say, and I didn't really care what you thought of me. I definitely challenged the like conversation. And as I've gotten older, and especially through the year of 2020 that we've gone through, I feel like I have been in moments in my life this year that I've had to like challenge something I'm really uncomfortable talking about, but like something inside of me was like, if you really feel like you need to say it, then you need to say it.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's with my parents or within my relationship or with my friends, it is hard. I don't necessarily love confrontation, but I have learned that I will challenge it if like I feel it's necessary. I guess.
Yeah.
So,
what was your number one? Like, what was your
7? I think
7,
which was the enthusiast.
Got it.
So yeah, and like I said, I took it twice and I got the same, and I could maybe just from what I read, that was my understanding of it. What did you get?
I took 2 different ones, 2 of the 3 that you did. And what was funny was I got 9, 3, and 7 on one, and I got 6, 9, and 3 on another. So on one of them, it told me I was a 6, like that was my most like it. But the other one had the 6 being the lowest.
Okay.
So like one told me I was for sure a 6, and the other one told me I was like anything but a 6. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But the common denominator one was a 9, which is the peacemaker.
I had a 9 on one of them.
Which is, they were saying, defined by a desire to live in peaceful harmony with their environment. They're looking for a balance and calm, and inspired to be there and help people along with their journeys. But then the other one, saying I was a 6, said I'm the loyalist. So they're responsible, trustworthy, value loyalty with friends and family and groups and causes. They're direct and clear. Don't like, I think it was saying something like, I have a hard time with like making my mind up on things, that I can procrastinate, but I don't like to fail, which kind of makes, I don't know, it's, again, reading these things is kind of reminds me of reading like your horoscope.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I can hear myself in a lot of the horoscopes.
Yeah.
I don't know, or like you can find something in all of them.
And like I said, I think that's why it's like one of those things, that's why I took it 3 times, because I was like, okay, this can't be like the overall. But then I was like, where's the one that is like, maybe it's not something like that. So it's just something we'll probably.
But what I noticed was the first test I took was way harder for me to take, which is the one I got the loyalist on, the 6.
Yeah.
Because it gave you 2 options.
Yeah.
Are you this or you that? Are you this or you that?
I think is why. So Lily took it also, because I asked her a couple of the questions, like, or maybe it was Brittany I was asking. and then I was telling Lily about it. I said the first test was hard because the way that it's worded, it's like, what's the context? But like,
Yeah.
you're basically just supposed to answer the question like, what are you? What do you feel when you answer the question? And I think I kept asking Brittany, I would like read them out loud to her, and then I would explain how I was thinking about it, and she'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because it was like, how do you process what
Yeah.
this two options are? And so
But
Lily
the
took
other
it, and she said
test-
that she thought the first one was most accurate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
See, I
Do you
like the
think the other
second
one?
one because
That's the one I didn't get my results.
it was almost like a sliding scale. Like,
Okay, yeah.
you could say, like, let's say the question was like, are you someone to confront when you want to like speak your mind?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like strongly agree versus like strongly disagree, and you could pick within a sliding scale.
Yeah.
And that made more sense to me because of the context thing
Okay.
of being like, in not every context am I going to confront,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to put that I strongly disagree, because there are going to be situations where I'll speak up.
Yeah.
So I put it kind of like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of pick. Whereas
Yeah.
there's going to be questions where I'm like, oh yeah, strongly agree, or like strongly disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some things where I'm like, or it just does, it's not a value to me. Like some people, or some of the questions were saying, you feel the need to always, or what was one of the questions? You have your like 10-year plan or 5-year plan clearly laid out. And I was like,
You don't care.
I'm in the middle. Like I don't agree
Yeah.
to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with that one.
Yeah.
I look ahead in the future, but I don't,
I'm not gonna dwell on it.
yeah, I don't stress about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So-
the future. I remember that question.
I don't know, I was like, but that was also the one that you had like pay for your results, so I was like,
Yeah.
nah. But I have heard, actually my boss was talking about the Enneagram thing the other day too, and I have heard that the true Enneagram test that like psychologists have
Use.
like made
Yeah.
up and use is like a 200 question quiz.
Oh, okay.
So like,
And you probably pay for it.
for sure, or unless maybe you go to someone that's like,
And
we need this to figure out
Yeah.
how to help you. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think it's those things where you have to be okay with like sitting down and being like, you have to really reflect, like, I have to answer this very honestly.
Yeah.
I want to say that I'm nice to everyone, but am I nice to everyone?
Mhm.
Or like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to say I'm a helper, but am I really a helper? Whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I maybe want to now like get the like book or whatever the
Yeah. Well, because I'm
And-
sure a book would have a quiz in it too.
yeah, and it would be somewhat accurate if you're gonna go through and read the book once you like
And
take it.
explain everything.
And explain it. And I think that's where like I don't necessarily really understand it.
Yeah.
I just kind of took what I read off the internet, which you know, believe everything you.
It was fun to take though.
It was fun.
We'll link all the quizzes that we've done down below.
Yeah.
And we'll also link I'll link the podcast to 75 Hard
Oh,
as well.
perfect. Yeah.
So people, if they're interested, they can listen to that and kind of hear where we're coming from
Yeah, I would
with
love
that,
that.
because I feel like that's interesting. He also wrote a book too, but I haven't read it.
That's all right. One day at a time.
I've already done it. So
Yeah,
maybe the
exactly.
next time I want to
Right.
I'll read it. Maybe that will be one of my
There
books.
you go.
Well, that was kind of just our fun little, again, check-in,
Check in. This is what we're doing.
Learn
This is
about
what we're
ourselves.
excited about.
mental health check.
Oh gosh, needed it. Therapy.
Now we're going to go on a walk.
I know. I was telling my mom out like before I came over. I was like, she's like, do you like talk about our family and like say names and stuff? And I was like, sometimes. I was like, but it's. I mean, it comes from a place of like, I know you guys. This is my family. What else am I supposed to fucking talk about? Like, this is my life, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what this is. And she was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not like, I'm not going crazy.
My mom one time
I know, right?
beat me with a stick.
Exactly. But I'm like, but it is like really therapeutical to be able to like talk about it and
For
like,
sure.
you know, this is my life and these are my experiences and this is what I think about it. And like, if for some reason you hear it and you think something of it, then like, let's just talk about it. You
Yeah.
know, like that's like the point. I want it all to be out there and I don't want it to be something I keep inside forever.
Yeah.
Like, it works to talk through stuff. I think
Yeah.
people don't.
I learn a lot more about myself too, talking things out, because
Yeah.
I guess kind of what this test said, I never have my mind made up on anything. Like,
I know.
I'm very indecisive
Mhm.
across
Shannon
all
always
boards.
makes you choose.
Across, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's food or like my religious beliefs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always just like, I don't know. But like talking it out helps because I feel like as I'm talking, I can be saying something. Even if I'm like passionately believing it, as I'm saying it, I can start to like break down like, do I really believe what I'm saying? Right
Yeah.
now? Like I've been in like arguments like
Oh yeah.
with my sister, like screaming something, you know, like, no, you are in the wrong. And then I'm like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh, no, I can kind of see where we're all coming from, you know?
Yeah.
Talking out for sure. I feel like talking is great.
Okay, last thing I have to say. So I saw Molly yesterday when I like went through town, and I like haven't really talked a lot about that we're doing a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned it to a lot of people. Like some people have kind of heard it in random conversation or like whatever, and then they're like, wait, what? And I just kind of like brush it off until we can talk about it later. But I like Molly was like, I feel like I heard you guys say something about that at your birthday, and I was like, yeah, we kind of talked about it, but like not really. And I was like, it's been so fun because people listening probably, you know, think they heard in the beginning that we haven't been friends that long.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, but what's really fun about the podcast is that Shannon and I like are continuing to get to know each other. Like,
Yeah.
we've really only been friends for like 2 years, and most of my friends I have had my whole life.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, it's fun to hear stories or like not feel like, oh, she's telling this story again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was telling her that, and she was like, I feel that way about this friend, you know? And like, it's like we have such a love for each other that we can make fun of those stories, and like, you know, we were there and we witnessed something, or there's some piece of the story that we always remember.
Yep.
But like with us, it's like you could tell me something and I'd be like, oh my god, really? You
Yeah.
know, or like, who was that? And like, wait, who was that again? Or
Yeah.
like, what was that? What was happening? And it was just like exciting to be like, she was like, that's so fun, I can't wait to like listen. And then it was like, she was more excited to hear like your response to the story. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, that's so cool. I can't, like, that's so fun. And I was just like, yeah, I hope that it turns out fun for people to listen to.
I
like,
know, right?
just two friends
Chit-chatting.
chit-chatting.
Well, shout out Molly.
I know, right? Shout out at Molly Alto.
We'll tag her down below.
Tag her down below.
She's our sponsor for today.
Dutch Bros.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we love you guys.
We love you. This was so fun.
Thanks for checking in,
Thanks
and
for
we will
listening.
talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, Grizz, for taking a nap. That was great. It's first little tippy tappies. Okay, file. Save as.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. Look at my phone. How fun it is.
Ooh, oh, you did the little update?
Yeah, and then I
Personalized it?
Bethany showed me how to kind of wiggle things around.
That's so cool.
I know. I love these pictures of Sammy. With her chips. It cracks me up.
Someone told me that. Oh my god, I won't be able to remember the details of this question or this thing, but.
Oh, should I stop the thing?
Oh yes, please. Oh, I needed to stop that one as well. Now there's two. I really.